the Roundtable. My name is Melanie Ishola, and joining me this evening are my two distinguished colleagues. And I'll start, maybe not so conventionally, from my left, Daniel Anyotoye, and I have on my right, Nehemiah. I was just about to question you, Jeremiah. Nehemiah Nwosu. And this evening, very quickly, colleagues.
Good evening. It's good to be on the show today.
Of course, great to have you. It's been a memorable October with you, Nehemiah. Actually, it's about the third time. Yes. And I'm loving it.
I'm pretty much available now,
and I'm excited about it. So, we are going to be discussing, dissecting, analyzing some of the major stories that have made our week buzzing and equally got people talking. But before we delve into the three hot topics, we'd like to quickly do a run over some of the headlines that we believe is worth mentioning. So my quick stop would be a breaking news of just about 2 or 3 hours ago that the police have arrested Shore, and they arrested him in court, and it's the development. Of course, we would continue to follow to bring you more updates, and you can avail yourself of more update on www.ng.com. Now, while that's said, there's equally been a very sad incident today of the Niger tanker that has killed 42, right? And the fact that poor road is blamed in this particular incident actually brings me to bring it on the round table to say, can we really, there was a report I once read of the total numbers of people that have died in Nigeria on account of poor road. You know, there are several causes leading to death on the highway or even in your area road, but I mean, poor road, sometimes we like to gloss over it like it's not a big deal because it's somewhat like our everyday reality in Nigeria. But then until you realize that in a single incident, we have 42 people, lives gone, just like that. And quickly to Lamido Turaki, McCarthy lead PDP chairmanship race. Also worth talking about is the fact that the INEC chair, Amukito, has now been sworn in. And of course, his first assignment, gentlemen, is the November 8th poll in Anambra. And it's almost like all eyes are on him right now to deliver. Deliver or... No, that was a joke. That was a joke, Amukito. We believe in you and we hope that you do deliver for us. Transparency, fairness in our elections. Swap threat, Southwest, North Central states on high alert. And this is a security issue. And, I guess for me, the whole idea that bad as insecurity is, it's almost always just taking a region or a geopolitical zone. And the realization that this has trickled down to other geopolitical zones. So we do not have a geopolitical zone or 2 geopolitical zones. Kwara, for example, I was reading some report on Punch where they said, this used to be a peaceful, abode, a state of harmony, and now somewhat desecrated in some parts of the state. And these are issues that we are battling right now in the nation. Now, worthy of mention also is electoral reform. Senate pushes INEC to defend election results. This is interesting. I don't know if you've got a word or two to share on this. Because what this then means is that we would not be going to tribunals asking people to prove. It is INEC now that will be proving and defending results.
I think that was one of the few things that they failed to do in 2023 tribunal.
Yes.
That was because there were some incidents where they were called to let us know why do we have blank
why do we
have blank documents uploaded on the IREV and mutilated documents uploaded on the IREV. Explain to us.
Yes, because you conducted the election. Yes, you had the election you speak about.
Yes, you held the election. You conducted it.
So
you should have the answers. Yes. And I think that's accountable enough. Right, so ASU issues fresh ultimatum, suspense, strike. This is also for me a big news because we've stayed on this and then you realize there was a 2-week warning strike, but now they've given new ultimatums, meet these things, and Labour has equally weighed in heavily for the FG to meet these demands so that we all can move on. Well, penultimately, FG, in the same vein of talking education, makes a U-turn from our previous conversation of last week, Nehemiah. Ali should have been here for us to. No, take your knuckle, because I recall it was Nehemiah and I against Ali.
I've actually been following up on the issue
of
a lot of people, came up and said they are going to fight this.
Yes.
They are going to
some
make
teachers,
sure
some parents,
because you cannot. No.
I didn't think it should go through like that. Let's stop lowering the standards. If there is anything to do to make students love mathematics, invest better in mathematics, that's what we should hear. And also in a very interesting turn, where we are all saying congratulations to a young boy, Agbo Adoga, who made history with a perfect 1,600 SAT score. I mean, that should inspire you to want to make everybody love mathematics in some sense. Because the boy also sat for mathematics.
And even
this is a 1,600 score.
And even a very concerning issue is the issue of, he's supposed to go and represent Nigeria.
Oh, that's a big issue, and I hope we don't talk about it here. But I think
he's supposed to go and represent. I hope so.
The government must sponsor that.
I hope they look into it.
That's if I can issue a
he must attend that.
I believe it truly must. And finally, to give honor to whom honor is due and hail our ex-Punch MD. So this was Tinubu hailing him actually, and we are also now hailing him. Tinubu hails ex-Punch MD Oshinobi at 70 as Sir Ademola Oshinobi was honored by family, clergy, media giants during his birthday Thanksgiving. This is how we say happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday, sir.
Congratulations, sir. Long life and prosperity.
So let's move on to our 3 hot topics, and I begin with the first one. Christian genocide claim. Can accuses presidency of distorting facts. And to our second hot story, Nnamdi Kanu to defend South names witnesses in terrorism trial. And our third hot story, alleged coup plot, public outrage, and the government's response. So very quickly, we begin with our first story. Christian genocide claim. Can accuses presidency of distorting facts. The Christian Association of Nigeria on Monday accused the presidency of misrepresenting its position on the alleged killing of Christians in Nigeria, describing a statement released after a recent meeting with the presidential aide, Daniel Bwala, as false, misleading, and insensitive. Khan said the presidency's version of the meeting gave the false impression that the association dismissed claims of a Christian genocide in Nigeria, a position it described as completely untrue and unfair. Now, Khan has insisted that at no point during the meeting did the president say anything like that. Now, Archbishop Daniel Oko, who is the president of Christian Association of Nigeria, explained that during the meeting, the Director of Planning, Research and Strategy, Bishop Mike Akpame, presented verified data from www.orfa.africa showing consistent and targeted attacks on Christian communities across several regions of Africa, including Nigeria. Now, let's take it back a bit and recall that the federal government also had rejected what it described as false and baseless allegations of a United States Senator, Ted Cruz, who accused the Nigerian authority of orchestrating a genocide against Christians and allowing the destruction of thousands of churches. Cruz, in an interview with Fox News Digital, alleged that more than 52,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria since 2009, and over 20,000 churches and Christian schools have been destroyed. While I bring this to a close, he also announced that the introduction of Nigeria Religious Freedom Accountability Act in the U.S. Senate, a bill seeking sanctions on Nigerian officials, it claims, who are complicit in religious persecution. So this is a very hot topic. As some trending videos on the internet are beginning to get you to have questions. There's been a particular cleric who's taken to the social media from Plateau State, who's taken to the social media to release video upon video of several attacks and equally calling, for some intervention. But it's great to actually begin questioning this evening, gentlemen, on how damaging it could be for the presidency to accuse of misrepresenting, to be accused of misrepresenting representing Kanu, no matter as sensitive as, this religious matter. I think it's a different thing to say something else. It's a different thing for Ted Cruz to base his statement on some research, but for Kanu, who really did have a meeting, right, with the presidential aide, to then say, no, we didn't say this. You have undermined the statement in a manner we didn't say it. Let me get your thoughts on this, Daniel.
I think the one lesson we should take home from this is that PR managers should understand the fact that the best strategy to manage PR for any organization is not to debunk any claim whatsoever at first instance. You don't manage image by first declaiming. You must first see, okay, yes, what is this issue we are going to investigate? What are the facts? We are going to investigate on it. Personally, I was shocked when I saw that position of Khan, and I was like, did Khan commit, did your verification before findings and all that? And I had to speak with some people. And I spoke with, of course, the International Fellowship of Communica Ministry, the Archbishop Osaze Williams. And we spoke at length about this matter, and they gave their position of the fact that there are findings and there are clarity of these issues that are on ground. I also spoke with Mr. Mike Arnold. We had a chat because, of course, you remember the issue, the episode between him and Reno Mokri, and he gave facts of the findings that he has done. So I expect that any media expert whatsoever should go ahead and carry out their investigation before making any defense for the government. And we should also know we are not babies in the country. We have been in this country for a while. It's in this country we had how some people were sleeping right inside their house. People, Fulani or whosoever people were X-Men, yes, X-Men went there and they called them, I think they were gunmen or something like that. They went there and they burned the family down. Okay, they burned the houses, did a lot of things and all that, and it's concerning. And if we know that these are the issues that we have, what we should do is to find solution to it. We are all brothers, yes. We are all sisters, yes. Both the X-Men, whoever is carrying these Christian, Muslim, so we all love each other. However, we must identify who is doing this, because we know it's insecurity and it has been with us for a very long time.
Absolutely.
So we should sort it out.
Thank you so much, and I love the input you made based off the interviews you held doing your own report here for the Punch. And I'm going to take it to you, Nehemiah. And I'm interested because, and I had to bring in the international dimension to even, my introduction, because it's important. Because how are we having this conversation after it took a U.S. senator to poke Nigeria? Both authorities, leaders, and followers alike. Were we sleeping? And what does this mean? Particularly in the United States, where Trump is sending people back home. I read where the government said they are not going to receive deportees from the United States. So what does this mean for our brothers and sisters? What does it mean for the image of Nigeria internationally, not just in the United States?
The big question is this. How did we get here?
It's a long question.
How did we get here?
It's a very long question.
Now,
it's been a long time coming.
These are issues that have been lingering for years. If the government have been proactive and have done something about this issue for long, we will be here. This is an international embarrassment to the country, and we have where aides working with the presidency just come out and debunk anything. There is no basis. They cannot tell you we will look into this matter and we will get back to you. No, outrightly they come out, they debunk with no basis, no facts. People have presented facts in different forums. We have been reading a lot of articles concerning these killings for years. This did not start this year. It did not start last year. And whenever governments are coming in, they make promises. And one of the biggest promises is we will protect lives and properties. If the government fail in this aspect, there is no other thing that is remaining. And the truth is that these are facts. You cannot just wake up one morning and want to disavow everything. No, it's not possible. But now that the US is on this,
exactly.
I
well.
Our government is not handling it well.
Yes, okay.
I think where we have the problem, it's clear. Where we have the problem and where the answer lies is the fact that everything has to one way or the other to do with politics. Because the fact is that who are the sponsors of this insecurity? Who are the sponsors of insurgency? We have in this country records where the government came out that they arrested over 400 sponsors of
do you recall the reports that came from, is it
a list?
United?
Yes, a list.
Came out.
How many of these persons were persecuted?
Came out.
How many of them? And
Don't
let us forget. Don't let us forget that
nothing has been done.
Don't let us forget that there are dynamics, and the dynamics is that how did these persons who get into political office, how did they get there eventually? Now, when they get to the position, you add somebody, because before you become a senator, before you become a House of Rep member and all that, somebody had probably sponsored you or funded your campaign and all that, because election
makes it difficult.
It makes it difficult to even prosecute a sponsor, because by the along the line, if you discover that somebody that sponsored into office,
for a possibility of somebody sponsoring terrorism or being responsible for sponsoring
politicians,
interlocking.
So there's no way it becomes difficult.
I wish there was more time to take more views and perspectives on this topic, but we have to move on to the next story. And our second hot topic today is Nnamdi Kanu to defend self, names witnesses in terrorism trial. Well, you may say it's a dramatic turn, you may say it's an interesting turn, however you're naming this. Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has informed the Federal High Court in Abuja that he will personally conduct his defense in his ongoing terrorism trial. This decision came shortly after Omowole Sowore and other activists staged protests in Abuja demanding his release. The move also followed a medical evaluation confirming that Kanu is fit to stand trial. Kanu has now listed 23 witnesses, including several high-profile figures, among them General T.Y. Danjuma, General Toko Buratai, Nyesom Wike, Dave Umahi, and Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who he intends to summon under Section 232 of the Evidence Act as vital and compellable witnesses. This terrorism trial raises questions about the politicization of national security trials, the transparency of Nigeria's judicial process, and unresolved tensions surrounding the Biafra agitation. To cut this short, I'm going to be starting with you again, Daniel. And it's to say, so when Kanu suddenly decides he wants to represent himself, right? Does it mean he lost faith in his legal team? Because now it's either you are reading it on this paper that he sacked his legal team, or you are reading that the legal team withdraws. At the point I'm like, I don't know what to believe. But whatever the case is, the legal team are out, right, of this. So what exactly is this? A strategic move, or is thinking in the...
I think when I saw the report, I was like, what is happening? But again, one question that came to mind, well, is he a lawyer in the first place? One. Secondly is the fact that you may not be able to interpret what has happened between himself and the lawyers until they come public later, which they may do. And of course, if you have a situation like this and you see that as a person, those whosoever is representing the lawyer, and you know how these things dramatically turns out, sometimes the lawyers will be telling you that, oh, let's go this direction, and you feel, which of course I'm thinking in that aspect, that maybe he felt that, oh, this situation, these people are not speaking my mind enough. Yes. These people are not talking what they're supposed to. Because I watched the kind of a snippet from the video of the court activities today, and I saw how he was actually bringing out points against the presiding judge. So the reality is that he probably has some information, and he felt that, oh, my lawyer, my representative should be able to may not do justice to these things, so they should be able to. However, I am also thinking those that he has listed down as witness, I doubt if these persons will show up in court. And that is why I buy into one.
It's making it clear someone in the constitution that says, bring them for me. If you bring them for me. And he's also pleading for a 90-day. Is it 90 days?
So that's why I believe it's a dramatic turn. However, I want to lay one particular fact. We all know where this is going, and where we all know where this is coming from. Okay, and we should know if actually we are actually following the court's direction.
Okay, so where is this coming from? I love to take it from you. I have a different question, but let me take it from you and take it to Nehemiah. So when you say we know where this is coming from, I'm looking at the context, the background to this whole thing. Today we call Nnamdi Kanu's trial terrorism trial. Now, off the back of last week, we had clemency, and we had terrorists, we had drug offenders, we had murderers, we had who else again on that clemency list? And people are saying when terrorists, insurgents are taken off our we don't say prison anymore, correctional facilities, and then we say we can rehabilitate them. We do that. We do that. So in that light, people are measuring the two offenses and saying, what has Nnamdi Kanu done? Did he carry a gun? Did he? Now, I know that the sit at home and what's not, the uprising in the Southeast is linked to his leadership and the call for a succession, right, from Nigeria. Altogether, this is, for me, where we're coming from to where we've got. And this is which is why, you know, I need to ask you quickly to speak to this in the light of when we call his trial terrorism trial. And I'm not coming against the government, it's been prescribed. But what really happens with prescribing? Do we similarly have dual justice or eye of the law viewing this thing? Please pardon that very technical English.
As we all know, the law profession, you know, has been put into several tests, and it's just unfortunate that our country is like this at this juncture. Now, concerning this Nnamdi Kanu's issue, in a sovereign country, the truth is this: yes, we understand the nitty-gritties and what not that the federal government is doing with that clemency and the rest of them. We have always known them.
No, they're rethinking it now.
They are not.
There's been.
Well,
you didn't see the report.
Yeah, we saw the report that they are rethinking it. But it goes to tell you again that there is a problem with our legal system, because having done that, going back
to receive
is funny, because if you listen to lawyers when they say it,
it should be governance system, not problem with the legal.
Now hold on.
Governance system.
No,
in that sense.
Hold on. Governance. Most of the people that formed that committee
for the clemency,
there are lawyers in that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But they will work based on recommendation.
On
governance recommendations.
Yes, of course.
Can we? And what they will be given is, can you go ahead? Can we go ahead? Advise us.
And there will be advisories.
Yes.
So this is the case. I leave that aside. That is, the government will know how it is. Now, let me just sit on Nnamdi Kanu's trial.
Yes, please.
Over the years, we have seen what Nnamdi Kanu has been doing. Yes, the government did something wrong by taking him illegally from South Africa and bringing him home. The government has done something wrong. But you cannot take away what Nnamdi Kanu has done as well.
Okay.
Now, we know how peaceful the Southeast has been largely before. Was largely before the. Now,
the call for succession, yes.
When that agitation started, Nigeria's federal government did something wrong. When somebody is agitating for something, call that person, come to the round table. Let us have a conversation. What do you want? What is the problem? I don't want trouble in my country. As a president, I don't want trouble in my country. What do you want? How can we fix this? The government failed in that aspect. Now, allowing everything to spiral. But nothing should give Nnamdi Kanu the rights to form a security outfit within Nigeria's sovereignty. That is one. Now, the people, when you form this, you give a sit-at-home order
within a nation,
within Nigeria's sovereignty. As what? You are not a local government chairman. You are not a state governor. You are not in any position of authority within Nigeria's sovereignty.
To do that,
we must say the truth when we see it. Now, everything that he has done over the years, if you listen to so many clips of his Radio Biafra, broadcast, and the rest of them. You will listen to insightful comments. He has done a lot of things that have led to loss of lives. That have led to unrest. Now, if you now look at his trial, he has been doing everything possible to delay that trial.
But he's been calling for
all these years
to want to, you know, and I recall the judgment that says he should be let go. Interpreting the judge, not that he should be let go, that he's not guilty.
The case went to the Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
And the Supreme Court said, nullified the judgment of the appeal court, and said, even Supreme Court agreed, even though bringing him, the same thing I said, even though bringing him from Kenya to Nigeria is illegal, but those counts, those 7 counts, they still stand. So the Supreme Court squashed that charge. Now, instead of him, now the government is ready. Let us hear this case. Come and put in your own defense. All these shenanigans of I want to, I am sick.
You think it is
but I think, but with Nigerian court, I have a bit. Is a common thing in Nigerian court.
I have a bit disagreement with that.
To say his health is failing.
No, hold on.
We do not have.
Now, I think they have done whatever they need to do. The enemy have come out to say it's fit to stand trial.
It's fit to stand trial. So we've even left the rhetoric or the narrative.
So now even what happened in court today now, they have postponed till another day.
Yes. I think
because they are stepping down the case.
I think
so
we should
look at this. You see all this Sanwo-Olu that he's mentioning. It is still the same trick. So because he knows it might be very difficult for those guys to come. For them to come and stand.
The reality here is that we should understand the fact that what is the reason for his steps that he took, and what do we apply? What system did we apply to?
What steps?
I'm coming. That what steps that those announcements and the incitement you said.
Yes.
Now, what steps did we apply to people who, of course, carried out the same thing? What disciplinary action did we apply? Take for instance the Niger Delta. You had cases. Worst cases like that, even in the Niger Delta. And we saw what the president at that time did in the process of doing what? Amnesty. That is the rehabilitation process. Yes. But here we have people. Hold on, I'm coming. Here we have people. They did not even say they are setting up security.
No, that's what
they have criminals. They had criminals.
No.
And we have a community that is having meeting with them. These people were carrying guns on a broad daylight, weapons.
Hold on.
And we did not go there to ransack there to court.
The southeast as well. The southeast as well has been dealt with.
Did we take rehabilitation process for them? That's what I'm saying.
That is why I said
before prescribing them as terrorists.
That is why I said
because in Niger Delta,
the government
even the Niger Delta,
hold on. When I laid the foundation before when I started, the areas where the government have failed to do what they needed to do
saw your analysis,
before this had to spiral to what it is today.
Nehemiah,
it will spiral because of the declaration.
Of course.
Why not take steps of rehabilitation?
Gentlemen, let me break it down. Let me help us unify this. Breakdown because of declaration. First declaration was prescribing IPOB terrorist group. Several other statements like that have come. But then in comparison and analysis, the way I've heard both of you speak, I think we're looking at scenarios where what has happened somewhere else and what has the government done. And as that same thing happened in the case of IPOB, in the case of the Southeast. I recall in my late teenagehood, early adulthood, there was a lot of Niger Delta. Every other time Niger Delta. Tompolo here.
Militancy and the rest.
Alamesia. No, Alamesia was another issue. Tompolo. I want to recall another name.
Asari
Dokubo. Thank you. Asari Dokubo. You know, we had all of that. And what happened? NDDC commission.
What did we? Yes.
So what happened after NDDC commission? They started to collect some money to say, okay, we'll take care of this thing. Gas flaring is disturbing your water. Whether it is now being done is another matter.
And marginalization is the center of it.
The center.
Which is
so
what
now,
of course.
I think sometimes when we talk IPOB, we may equally also then need to go back and give background and context. And essentially talk the 1967. I do not think that there's been a situation where there's been some Nigerian conversation, Nigeria in conversation
that is
with
why,
Biafra.
See, that is
And
why.
by Biafra now, I mean the Southeast. Let me not say Biafra. With the Southeast. Nigeria
Biafra,
in conversation
Biafra,
in our past.
Hold on.
Over what happened,
Biafra has ended. Hold on.
Biafra
These are the
ended
facts.
with the war.
Biafra has ended.
But when I say Biafra,
years
I put
ago.
parentheses to say
So,
with the
no,
Southeast.
just,
Those who are calling.
Just mention. Just this is the thing. This is the thing. Before Nnamdi Kanu was Raf Wazurike.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So that is why.
It wasn't
See,
Nnamdi.
that is why it's good to get a background
Absolutely.
of all these things that has been happening. Before Nnamdi Kanu was Raf Wazurike. Raf Wazurike did everything he did.
I recall.
He did. See, the truth is this. The truth is this. It is not. You cannot. It is not true agitation, because if you are really agitating for the freedom of your people, you must not do anything that will lead you putting them in harm's way.
And I agree. And I agree with
So
you.
this is the thing. See, we must understand how this thing rolls. You see these guys. The truth is, the story they came in with when they started, especially Nnamdi Kanu, was Fulani is killing our people. Fulani is killing our people.
That would be. But he said.
He said, I'm quoting him.
Quoting him.
Fulani is killing our people, so we want to come and protect you. So the people, because you know that naturally Southeasterners are sympathetic to the Biafra cause. So they came in with that rhetoric, and people, the communities, allowed them, and this is how everything spiraled.
Gentlemen, your 2 cents as we make a close.
And the thing is, my 2 cents is this. My 2 cents is this.
Yes.
Nnamdi Kanu should prepare himself for his trial. I understand how shady our government have been over the years. Over the years, because the way if you look at the regions, there is nothing that is stopping the federal government, looking into the case of the Southeast and calling everybody to a round table
or providing a sort of solution
yes,
that can apply to them.
Yes, because it is a government failure.
It is situation specific.
It is a government failure.
We should not use a blanket solution.
It is a government failure. That is there. But Nnamdi Kanu should stand trial, answer for his case. A lot of people died.
Absolutely.
Till tomorrow. So please.
Thank you. Your 2 cents.
My 2 cents, it's if I will not take us back, is the issue of genocide, really, because for me, I think the federal government...
Not on the show, on this Nnamdi Kanu say.
On this...
We are still taking our third
Yeah.
For me, is that do you think that the big names he's dropped would show up as they are summoned?
Like I said earlier, I know, of course, one of the things that he has done, calling these persons and identifying them, is to give more, of course, pictures to whatever proceedings and all that. However, I believe none of them. I believe strongly they may sign a representative or whatever, but I believe none of them will show up.
Thank you. This is the round table. We'll proceed now to the final topic. But of course, he thinks Nnamdi Kanu giving a 23-man list is a delayed tactic. He thinks that if they show up, it will be good for his case. But are they showing up? That's a question for us.
That's
all right, alleged coup plot, public outrage, and the government's response. This is has been a big news from over the weekend, and quite a number of us felt. A number of people asked me off record and said, Melanie, is it true this coup? I said, which coup? Is it true? I said, which coup? People should be calming down. Anyways, the federal government on Sunday broke its silence over reports of an alleged failed coup to topple the administration of President Bola Tinubu. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in an interview with The Punch on Sunday, said the government had faith in the military and no reason to doubt the position of the defense headquarters, which on Saturday dismissed the report of a coup as fake. Well, recall the report on Saturday and the statement by the Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tukur Gusau. The military had denied a news report by Sahara reporters linking the detention of 16 military officers to a failed coup. However, even after the report by Punch, the polity continued with rumors of a coup or a failed coup. Now, coup as we know it is not a word to toy with, especially not in Nigeria. Nigerians now are asking to know if the coup plot really was in motion. Was there really a plan to take over the President Bola Tinubu's administration. And this brings me to asking the gentleman in the studio, why did the coup rumor gain so much traction? No, because for me, that's it, right? We are trained to smell news and all of that, yeah. So was it really, because it could be one or two or three things, poor communication from the government or a symptom of a deep public distrust? Which situation?
I think for me, for so far as much as I've learned as a journalist, amidst every rumor, there is an iota of one little substance of truth there.
It may not
so
be material.
it may. I believe it's something that there is an effort, but failed along the line. However, I think so far with my research and information I've gathered, whosoever group that is putting themselves together to do that processes may be rookies, because I don't think coup in Nigeria presently will succeed, because the reality remains that one, we all know what military rule is all about, and I don't think we want to go back there at this present moment in time. We have, no matter, somebody said, and I think I've said it before, that the worst of democracy is better than military rule. Because the majority of persons who are probably yawning, let's have military, they may not have smelled, because the truth is, if it's military,
we were born in military.
I spoke with an expert, and he made me to understand that if it is military, they don't have conscience to allow somebody somewhere to be stealing one money without killing them. They were just
but the military era we had didn't we also have them?
Of course, but they were not.
That was
it's not
they
within,
also were complicit of their own offenses.
Of the reality remains that they will not accept
it would
the
be okay
complicity
for them to do it,
but
you cannot do
that
it.
is just the reality.
So now, but I equally wanted to say the other time when you quoted what somebody had said regarding how the worst democracy may be better than the best military rule. Political science theorists sometimes argued that, or sometimes argue that economies, states, nations that have been born or evolved out of colonialism, especially those of African region, may need military stabilization for true and natural development to take place. And this, I think, will take me to why we've been having pockets of coups across Africa. So you may start asking yourself the question, who on earth is thinking a coup in Nigeria? And honestly, it will surprise me. It will surprise me. However, maybe not too surprising, because of course, I mean, this is Nigeria. We all live in it with all the ingredients, and you know, the word would fail me. But let me go straight to my point to say, do you think, because it's a question that's been on my head, and Nehemiah, I'll start with you, Daniel, to Nehemiah. Do you think that because we've seen Niger, we've seen Mali, we've seen, do you think that it's a scene in military, right? Appetite, let me use appetite, for a possible
such happening,
such possibility.
I don't think so, because one, we are more involved even within the economic West African states, and even our military is also in the Security Council of ECOWAS. And so you can just imagine the leads within these African countries, within that body, now being involved in this. They are also the one moving that traction and saying, no, we don't want this, we want democracy. So I also believe that this present administration, especially with the structure of our governance system, we have that way that has so much incorporates the democratic system and the military.
Thank you.
Where you have, for instance, the president as the grand commander in chief. There are some certain things, even within the military system, without the GCON's directive, cannot be done.
Thank you. And you know, let's remember that when the President Bola Tinubu was sworn in, there was some confidence reposed by the military in the president to say, we are here for you. We're not here to work against you. Just recall that. But what's your take on the question regarding, do you think there is some appetite for it, or is just a rumor that came out of nowhere and went back to work?
I've been laughing, or I've been
You're
smiling.
honest. You're honest.
I've been
nothing
honest,
but the truth.
I've been smiling all
Only
through.
the truth.
I've been smiling all through. If you've got the opportunity to be close to, maybe people in the military, and you go close to them, you go close to where their barracks is.
Yes.
And the way Nigeria's military is structured today, it will be extremely difficult, if not impossible, for a coup to be carried out in Nigeria. It will be extremely difficult, if not impossible. See, that is why I keep smiling, because this is what I've said this on this show severally. A government must see it as a duty to be honest with its people at all times. Now, when this issue, because everybody keeps asking that question, coup in Nigeria? How? Coup in Nigeria? How? It is not that. Yes, we understand. Some people might now argue and said, why is Boko Haram having their way? Why are all these insurgents having their way, and the rest of them? But we've heard things about news about there was a time that a robbery was reported in Aso Rock some years back, and that was really preposterous, and the rest of them,
I could almost not believe it.
But a military coup in Nigeria
different from
is
what
different
a robbery
from what a robbery
and
is.
what that is.
The way the Nigerian military is constituted as we speak, it will be very,
is it
very
different
difficult.
from the way it was constituted at the time that it was coup? I'm not asking the question to be answered. It's a rhetorical question.
Now the thing is this, because everybody, if you just come in as a president, definitely Nigerian military will swear allegiance
to support you,
to support your government.
Yes.
And they have been doing that over the years.
Yes.
With the way Nigeria is structured today,
you think it
my
is
word,
an impossible
my word,
mission?
my word, it will be very, very difficult, if not impossible, for a coup to take place.
Now, thank you. So I would ask this as a 2 cents, question, just as we take our leave. People have said there's been some sort of silence. Some group have come out. ADC, the political party, African Democratic Congress, came to say, that so there's been a deliberate silence, that because the rumor still festered, the government should come out and say something. Do you think that the silence and the ministry's repeated denial, even though it's been said that there is some state governor somewhere that is under watch and all of that, do you think all of these things can strengthen the public's confidence? Because in the end, you and I are part of the public. We are not the public.
Of course.
We're just a part. Or is it creating the opposite effect? Which is it?
The thing is this: the people.
Too central.
The people, as always, have lost confidence in the government, and that's why I keep saying that to build this trust, to build this confidence, the government needs to be honest with its people.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Nehemiah.
I will not agree that the people has lost confidence in the government, because when the people lost confidence in the government,
that's
that's a state of emergency.
Yes.
And of course, there are some things that the government will say Nigerians should do, and we would still do it. But I think what has happened is that, yes, they have debunked the fact that this, and there were reports that, they made some arrests. But I think, as it stands, they are carrying out their investigation. And the best form of PR is that you inform and engage the people as each event unfolds. You inform the people, you engage the people. Okay, this is what has happened. Yes. The people were arrested. This is what we have done, and this is what we have not done, so that people will be informed. If probably it was an issue of mistaken identity or mistake statements, of course, come to the people, talk to the people, and recall it and move ahead.
Thank you so much, Daniel Anyotoye and Nehemiah Nwosu. This much we can take on the program today. Thank you.